History doesn't feel sorry for the man who picked the wrong one. That's the hard truth, unspoken but always learned. And unfortunately, most men only realize it when it's already too late, staring at the ruins of their own lives, wondering how it all collapsed without a single warning shot. But here's the thing, they were warned, just not in the way you'd expect. Your mom won't tell you, your friends can't, and society profits from your blindness. But Machiavelli saw it coming. He understood something most men never do. Behind every man who's lost everything, his peace, his drive, his vision, wasn't bad luck or fate. It was the wrong woman, a woman he let in when he should have walked away. While the world keeps feeding you sweet lies about love, loyalty, and fairy tale endings, Machiavelli whispers the cold truth in your ear. Men judge more from appearances than from reality. All men have eyes, but few have the gift of penetration. You're not here just to be entertained. You're here to protect your future. What I'm about to share isn't something you'll hear on a typical podcast. No coach, no influencer, no friend is going to break it down like this. There are only two types of women in this world, beneficial and destructive. That's it. There is no maybe, no in-between. Either she's upgrading your life or she's slowly tearing it down, one compromise at a time. And here's the brutal part. Most women today, they've mastered the act. They appear beneficial, but underneath the makeup, the smiles, the charm, they're leeches in disguise. I know that's harsh, but sugarcoating it won't stop you from watching your empire crumble if you choose wrong. This isn't about hate. This isn't some war on women. This is strategy. This is survival. Machiavelli warned, "He who seeks to deceive will always find someone who allows himself to be deceived." And that someone? It's almost always the man who lets feelings lead before he engages his brain. So here's your first law, etched in stone. Never ever choose based on appearance alone. She could be the most stunning woman you've ever laid eyes on. But if her mind is shallow, if her values are broken, if her loyalty sways with attention and status, she's not your queen. She's polished poison. Let me repeat what Machiavelli said. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. The average man stops at beauty, but the man with vision, he looks deeper. He watches her patterns, her decisions, her circle. He notices how she acts when nobody's watching, how she treats people she doesn't need, how she speaks about those who aren't in the room, how she respects or disrespects herself. These things matter, because the men who lose it all, they all ignored those subtle signs. A truly beneficial woman doesn't just fall into your life. You select her, you study her, you test her like a commander surveys a battlefield before the war. The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. Don't be the fool. Don't wait until you're trapped. Don't wait until your peace is shattered and your mission is off course. The warnings are always there. You just chose to ignore them. Here's your second law. Never choose a woman who doesn't respect masculine leadership, period. If your strength threatens her instead of making her feel safe, walk away. If she's always challenging your leadership instead of complimenting it, walk away. If she has no vision of her own but constantly tears down yours, walk away. Because when a woman doesn't value masculine order, she'll bring feminine chaos. And chaos doesn't just disrupt, it destroys. That's how empires fall. That's how legacy dies. You weren't put here to rescue someone. You're not her savior.
You're here to build. And building requires unity, not friction. Machiavelli said it himself. Men who don't secure their power eventually become slaves to the very things they once thought they could tame. Think about it. You tell yourself you can handle the drama, that you can fix the disrespect, that love will make it all better. But here's what she knows that you don't. You already chose her. And once you do that, she has the power. You gave it to her. In a relationship, power is not something you negotiate. You either own it or you surrender it. And too many men, desperate to be accepted, surrender it. They wrap it in sweet words like compromise, understanding, partnership. Nice words, dangerous lies. Machiavelli didn't play that game. He said, "It is much safer to be feared than to be loved, if you must choose. Because love without respect, that's slavery with a smile. If you let a woman rule you in the name of keeping the peace, you become a puppet king. You wear a crown, sure, but your kingdom is crumbling." You want to know who she really is? Set a boundary. Tell her no. Pull back your time, your money, your energy. Watch what happens next. Does she respect your distance, or does she try to reel you back in with tears, guilt, manipulation? Most women today, through no fault of their own, have been trained by society to believe men are emotional vending machines, that your only role is to serve their feelings. And most men, they kneel, they obey, just to keep the peace. But you're not most men, not anymore. Here's your third law. Watch how she handles boredom. It's easy for someone to act sweet when things are fun, when gifts are flowing, when the attention is non-stop. But boredom? That's where her true character shows. Does she create value in silence? Or does she start fights just to feel something? Does she have peace inside her? Or is chaos her default mode? Because if she can't handle a quiet moment, she will blow up your world the moment real pressure hits. You want peace beside you, not a ticking emotional time bomb waiting for an excuse to explode. And then there's the lie you've heard over and over again, that a woman's past doesn't matter, that if you ask, you're insecure, that body count is irrelevant. Machiavelli would laugh in your face. He said, the promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present. Let that sink in. Her past matters. It screams your future. A woman who's burned bridges, betrayed lovers, who's lived without discipline, she doesn't reset just because she met you. She's not starting over. She's sharpening the knife behind her back while you're busy planning your future with her. Watch her past. Study her patterns. They are your blueprint. And now we get to law number 4. Never invest in a woman whose values don't match yours. If you're a man on a mission, and you should be, then you need a woman who aligns with that mission, not one who pulls you off course. If she mocks your discipline, laughs at your drive, or rolls her eyes every time you talk about purpose, leave. I don't care how gorgeous she is. I don't care how affectionate she acts when she wants something. Because here's the truth most men can't stomach. The wrong woman will cost you your entire future. And no amount of pleasure is worth the price of watching your purpose burn.
Here's the one rule every man resists, but every man must learn. If she doesn't fear losing you, she will never truly value you. It's cold, but it's real. When a woman believes you'll always be there, no matter how she behaves, no matter how far she pushes, no matter how little she gives, she slowly starts to resent you. Why? Because what costs nothing is worth nothing. Machiavelli understood this better than most. He wrote, "Men should either be caressed or crushed." And whether you realize it or not, women follow the same instinct. If she doesn't think you can leave, she won't respect you. If she believes your love is guaranteed, she will test you, push you, even start to despise you, because deep down, she doesn't trust anything that comes too easy. Respect isn't something you beg for. It's something you command. So stop being so available. Stop giving more attention when she gives you less. Stop rewarding disrespect with more effort. Because the man who is willing to walk away, he holds the power. Always has, always will. Now I get it. It's easy to talk about these laws. It's much harder to live them. Because to live them, you have to kill the fool inside you, the hopeless romantic, the desperate little boy who believes love alone will magically tame chaos, that sincerity will change her, that loyalty will earn her respect. But that's why so many men are broken. Not because of women, but because of the fantasy they created about women. Machiavelli didn't have patience for self-deception. He said, men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. And fear holds more power. That's not saying be cruel. It means be respected. Because a woman who fears losing you, she changes. Her tone shifts, her loyalty sharpens, her attitude humbles. But the man who's always there, no matter how she acts, she grows colder, she grows bolder. She pushes him not because she's evil, but because female nature doesn't trust weakness. It doesn't trust a man who doesn't stand firm. And a man who doesn't protect his value is not a man she can follow. Let me make this painfully clear. The most dangerous woman in your life is the one who sees you as an emotional support system, but not as a leader. You think she loves you because she vents to you, because she leans on you, because she cries on your shoulder? No, that's dependency, not respect. The real question is, does she follow your guidance? Does she respond to your standards? Does she grow when you challenge her to rise? If not, you're not her king. You're her therapist. You're her emotional trash can, and she will use you until she finds a man she actually respects. Harsh? Good. Let it sting. Let it break the fantasy. Because the pain you feel right now is the pain that's going to wake you up. Most men try to negotiate respect. They think if they just give more, do more, bend more, eventually she'll see their worth. Fools! Machiavelli warned, one who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived. And you, my friend, you've been deceiving yourself long enough. You don't negotiate respect. You command it. And if you have to beg for it, you've already lost. So how do you command it? Simple. Live as if you're ready to walk away at any moment. Because the man who fears losing her becomes her servant. But the man who embraces loss becomes her obsession. She'll test you. She'll push you. She'll see if you're just talk. You have to bite. You have to walk. You have to disappear. Not to punish her, but to remind her you are the man who protects his value. Here's another truth most men never hear. Watch her relationship with other men. And I don't just mean exes or male friends. I mean men in general. How does she talk about masculinity? Does she admire strong men or mock them? Does she speak with respect about her father, her brothers, her mentors? Or does she carry sarcasm, resentment, bitterness? Because here's the reality. A woman who secretly despises men will never fully submit to one. She might fake it in the beginning, she might act sweet, charming, but that poison, it always surfaces. And when it does, you'll realize you didn't marry a partner, you married a competitor. Machiavelli wrote, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." Translation: words mean nothing if her patterns don't match. Do not marry potential. Do not fall for promises. Fall for patterns. If her life was chaos before you, it won't magically become peace beside you. If she was lazy, undisciplined, emotionally erratic before, she won't suddenly become grounded, mature, loyal, just because you showed up. You're not the exception. You're the next fool if you ignore the signs. You want to know why so many men keep repeating the same heartbreak? Because deep down, they believe they are the one who can change her, that their love is special, that their patience will be the thing that finally cracks the code. It won't. You're not her dad. You're not her healer. You're not her God. You are a man, and your time is your life. Every minute you waste trying to fix a woman who doesn't want to grow is a minute stolen from your mission. Machiavelli said, "The wise man does it once, what the fool does finally." Every second you delay cutting off the wrong woman is a second you live as a fool. Let's get something clear. No woman on this planet is your purpose. Your mission is your purpose. Your discipline, your growth, your legacy, that's your reason for waking up. The right woman, she's an asset to that purpose. The wrong woman, she's a liability. And most men, they flip this entire thing upside down. They make the woman the center of everything. And when she senses that, she loses all respect, every single time. Because women don't trust men who orbit them. They trust men who orbit nothing but their mission. That's why the same woman who disrespects one man will worship another. The difference, it's not her. It's his frame. And here comes your next brutal law. Never choose a woman who cannot thrive in your absence. Step back. Watch who she becomes when you're not there. Does she collapse or does she grow? Does she hold the line or does she chase chaos? A woman who constantly needs your attention, your validation, your emotional babysitting, she will be your downfall. But the one who multiplies your mission, even when you're not watching, that woman is rare and worth keeping. Machiavelli's truth still echoes. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. In relationships, that means this. Be willing to make her uncomfortable in the name of your standards. If she crosses a boundary, call it out. If she disrespects your time, remove it. If she tests your strength, show her the door. Not because you're cruel, but because you're building something worth protecting. And if you bend once, you'll bend forever. And she knows that.
Here's your next commandment, and it might sting. Choose a woman whose presence strengthens your discipline, not weakens it. This one's subtle, because weakness doesn't always show up in fights or chaos. Sometimes it shows up in comfort. That woman who always says, "You don't need to go to the gym today," who laughs when you mention waking up early, who tempts you with distractions when she knows you're grinding. She's not cute. She's not supportive. She's sabotage, dressed in affection. She'll call it love. She'll say, "I just want you to rest." But if that rest becomes routine, it becomes rot. Because the wrong woman doesn't need to destroy you with anger. She'll destroy you with comfort. A real woman, a beneficial woman, she's your ally in discipline. She reminds you who you are. She pushes you higher. She holds you to your word. She doesn't let you slide, not because she's harsh, but because she believes in your greatness. She doesn't beg you to stay soft. She dares you to stay sharp. Now what if you're already trapped? What if you're listening to this thinking, "Damn, I already chose wrong"? It's not too late. But freedom isn't free. It's going to cost you your pride, your time, maybe even your money. But ask yourself this. What's more expensive, leaving now or dying slowly for the next 20 years? Because make no mistake, the wrong woman will drain you, and when there's nothing left, she'll leave anyway. Nature has no sympathy for the man who refuses to lead himself.
Machiavelli warned, people respect what they fear losing. If she doesn't fear losing you, it's because you've already trained her to believe she never will. But that changes now. You are not here to be some extra in her life story. You are here to build your own kingdom. And your kingdom, it lives and dies by the woman you allow inside its gates. The truth is, most modern men aren't weak because they were born that way. They're weak because they were trained to believe weakness is virtue, that letting things slide is compassion, that tolerating disrespect is love, that enduring chaos is strength. But Machiavelli tore that lie apart. He said, "A prince who is not himself wise cannot be wisely advised." Translation, if you're soft, you'll only attract voices that keep you soft. That's why weak men keep collecting destructive women. It's not bad luck, it's not coincidence, it's cause and effect. Your weakness calls out to their chaos, like a flame calls to moths. And now, here you are, listening, because something in you is waking up. You may not like hearing this, but you need to. You are exactly where you deserve to be. The woman you have right now, good or bad, you chose her. Maybe out of boredom, maybe out of desperation, maybe because you didn't know better. But you still chose. And until you own that choice, you'll keep repeating the same story, blaming women, blaming culture, blaming everything but the man in the mirror. Enough. Because here's what most men do. They wait. They float through life hoping the right woman will just show up. Meanwhile, they're doing nothing to build value, nothing to sharpen their judgment, nothing to test for patterns, behavior, alignment. They go by feelings, and feelings lie. Women are masters at triggering those feelings: comfort, validation, intimacy. And here's the final law. Men judge more by the eye than by the hand, for all can see, but few can understand. So ask yourself, you have eyes, but do you have insight? Do you have the courage to sit across from a beautiful woman and see through the act? Do you have the strength to walk away when your body's screaming to stay? Because real men choose based on wisdom, not lust, alignment, not addiction, strategy, not fantasy. Here's your final commandment. Test her loyalty in your absence before you trust her in your presence. Anyone can act perfect when you're watching. The real test is when you're not. Does she keep your name clean when you're not in the room? Does she shut down other men's advances without being asked? Does she live by your standards when there's no reward for doing so? Or does she drift the second your back is turned? Because if she can't be trusted when you're gone, she will betray you when you're weak. So don't apologize for your standards. Don't apologize for walking away. Don't apologize for protecting your peace, your mission, your future. Because the woman you let in will either build with you or she will quietly tear you apart. Not because she's evil, but because that's the law of nature. Machiavelli warned rulers to fortify their cities, secure their gates, control their borders. Why? Because kingdoms fall when outsiders gain unchecked access to what should be protected. And you, my brother, are a kingdom. Your time, your energy, your resources, your purpose, those are your fortress walls. Guard them like your life depends on it, because it does. Now comes the final game being played against you. It's not betrayal, it's not drama, it's the illusion of endless options. Modern society has convinced you that women are everywhere, that you should keep swiping, keep lowering your standards, that someone better is always one click away. But Machiavelli knew the deeper truth. Men sooner forget the death of their father than the loss of their inheritance. And your legacy is that inheritance. And nothing bankrupts a man faster than chasing women who only bring debt to your mind, your soul, your future. The truth is, most women today aren't worth choosing, and you know it. You see it. Women chasing attention, not building legacy. Women posting for likes, not preparing to lead beside a man with purpose. And yet you keep telling yourself to settle, to tolerate, to hope she'll change. Why? Because you're scared to be alone. But here's the final, most brutal law. Better to walk alone than to die beside the wrong woman. Because the wrong woman won't just waste your time, she will steal the essence of who you are, your drive, your purpose, your edge. Look at the men you once admired, men who were sharp, focused, powerful. Now look at them. Drained, tired, silent. Why? Because they chose wrong. Because they traded their standards for softness, their legacy for temporary attention. While they entertained the wrong women, the right one walked past them. You have to be willing to feel the pain of waiting, the loneliness, the silence, if you ever want to experience the power of building something real. Machiavelli told rulers to sacrifice comfort for power, to accept pain in the name of greatness. Because in the end, every woman you let into your life will either sharpen your sword or dull your edge. She will fuel your fire or drain it, stand beside you or destroy you from within. This isn't paranoia. This is history. Kings didn't fall to armies. They fell to the wrong woman in the quiet of their own chambers. And the worst part? The woman who ruins your life will be the one you spend years explaining. You'll say, "I didn't know." You'll tell yourself, "It wasn't that bad." But deep down, you'll know. You heard the truth, right here, right now, and you ignored it. And when your kingdom burns, no one's coming to save you, because no one saves a man from his own cowardice. Machiavelli didn't write for men who wanted to be liked. He wrote for men who wanted to win. And if that's you, then choose like a king, test like a ruler, and be ready to walk away, not because you're cold, but because your mission is too important. And now, the choice is yours. Build a legacy or become another casualty. If this message hit you, like the video right now. Share it with a brother who needs it. Subscribe for more truth that no one else is willing to say. Because this isn't just a channel. This is a movement, a war for the future of men. And those who stay asleep, they'll be the ones telling stories of what they lost. You'll be too busy building a life they'll never touch. Make your choice and make it now.